the sixth lesson, which is also synonymous with week 6 of the semester. The topic or the main chapter is communication channels. As a matter of introduction, the lesson deals with different communication channels. It explains the concept of communication and channels. It also isolates specific channels through which communication is done. The lesson also unpackages the different types of communication, such as face-to-face, broadcast, electronic, among others. Lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to 1. Explain the concept of communication. 2. Explain the concept of channel. 3. Appreciate the different types of communication channels. Going forward, the first channel to look at is, the first thing is to look at the different formats of, to look at the transmission of messages. Begin by looking at the physical transmission medium, such as wire, which connects to logical and multiplexed medium, such as radio and telecommunication and computer networking, to pass the message. A channel is used to convey an information signal. Communication channels are thus the means through which people in an organization or society communicate. It is important to select appropriate channels for communication, lack of which may result to using an inappropriate channel for transacting a task or interaction. For example, when you are engaging in an official business, the best channel of communicating is the paper-based channel, where you sign a contract that can be adduced in the court of law. But if you make a telephone call, it may have been the wrong channel for doing that, and therefore it may result into negative consequences. Communication channels include 1. Face-to-face or interpersonal or personal communication, mobile communication, electronic communication channels, for example, emails, written communication channels, for example, letter writing, etc., etc. So the first channel for us to look at is face-to-face. This is one of the richest channels of communication that can be used within an organization. Physical presence, the tone of the speaker, the voice and facial expressions help recipient of the message interpret the message and the intention of the speaker appropriately. This is probably the best channel to use for complex or emotionally charged messages, because it allows for interaction between speakers and recipients to clarify ambiguity. Broadcast media communication channel. This comprises TVs, radio, and loudspeaker. This type of media is effective for addressing a mass audience Businesses seeking to advertise their business, products or services may use broadcast media. Likewise, a CEO may do a global company address by having a television feed broadcast across global sites. You often watch TV and you can see people advertising their products. You find they associate them with very beautiful things, people, songs, what have you. The best actors have been selected to broadcast or to communicate some of these products. So that's the beauty of broadcast media. When a message, for example, is intended for a mass audience, it is enhanced by being presented through broadcast media, enhanced with visual or auditory format. The addition of enablers such as loudspeakers is to enhance clarity of sound and particular words. No wonder in most congregations, whether it's public functions, in churches, in broadcast stations, you find people armed with loudspeakers and amplifiers to ensure that the message is delivered effectively. Mobile communication channels. These are used when private or more complex messages need to be relayed to an individual or a group. A mobile channel allows for an interactive exchange and gives the recipient the added benefit of interpreting the speaker's tone along with the message. What we are saying here is that unlike the radio or TV, where communication is on one-way traffic, unless they have allowed feedback, in a mobile communication channel, you'll find the caller giving the message and the recipient also giving his or her feedback. And the recipient can be able to determine the mood of the caller by analyzing the tone and the ferocity with which the information is passed on. In organizations, some people may opt to use mobile channels versus face-to-face to save on time and effort it will take to communicate in a face-to-face meeting. Electronic communication channels. This encompasses emails, internet, intranet, and social media platforms. These channels can be used for one-to-many groups or mass communication. It is less personal and more efficient. When using this channel, care must be taken to craft the message with clarity and to avoid use of sarcasm, innuendos, etc., etc., unless the message is personal. Written methods of communication. This can be used when a message that does not require interaction needs to be communicated to an employee or a group. Policies, letters, memos, manuals, notices, and announcements are all messages that work well for this channel. Recipients may follow up through an electronic or face-to-face channel if questions arise about a written message. Having been members of the university, you may have realized that communication is through posters, is through memos, is through letters. Whether from Vice Chancellor, DVC, Registrar, or Head of Students, when you look at the notice boards, you will see most of the communication are written. And this is much more effective because it's meant to last longer for many people to come and see what the message is. Verbal communication. This can be at personal, in person, or over the phone. The medium of the message is oral and is verbal. Meaning, you can talk to somebody verbally, you can articulate, you can verbalize your information. Either in a situation where you are in a face-to-face environment, or you can call this person to deliver the message you have. The contrast is non-verbal. Non-verbal communication entails non-verbal cues, such as winks. For example, you can wink your eye. Kinestics, such as calling somebody or saying bye-bye. Or you can refuse by nodding your head sideways. Or you can accept by nodding your head in affirmative. That is kinetics. Kinetics, yeah. It is a non-verbal cue. And sometimes when you are talking with somebody, the body language can be used to express somebody's message. For those of you who keep watching news, you see how some people talk. Look at how Raila talked. Apart from the verbal message that comes, you find his body swinging up and down or left and right for him to express himself. So that is an non-verbal cue. Incidentally, most politicians in the contemporary world have now imitated the ODM boss. When they talk, you find their body also swinging left, right, and center, trying to express the point. That is non-verbal cues. We have got conversations, which is also an aspect of non-verbal communication, and therefore it is very important that you are able to distinguish between these different types of communication. And communication is a key area in the global society, because without communication, people cannot make ends meet. I once again want to thank you for joining me and listening and watching this program, because without your participation, we will not have reached this far. Thank you. You may have to read further by looking at the reference sources I've given at the beginning of the course. God bless you. See you.